What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from Prairie Artisan Ales, and they are out of Krebs, Oklahoma, and this is their Spicy Pickle Monster. So they are calling this one a sour ale with spicy dill pickles, orange, lemon, and lime. It comes in at 5.3% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is just over 6 weeks old, so hear me out. Listen, I know what you're thinking. Why am I drinking and reviewing this beer? Well, it's a novelty beer, like so many beers are nowadays, and I love pickles. Whether they're spicy dill pickles, regular dill pickles, sweet pickles, sour pickles, I love them. And I'm one of those guys that uses, pickle juice to like marinate chicken breast. I've been known from time to time to maybe take a little bit of a sip of some pickle juice. So when I saw this one, I was like, I have to, for science mostly. There aren't a lot of pickle beers out there, which just hearing me say that, I realize how stupid that sounds. But when I saw this one, I was like, I gotta give it a go. Let's just see how it is. Is it gonna be carbonated pickle juice? Probably. Is it gonna be spicy? Who knows? But let's give it a go. I also want to say that on the label here, it says Krebs Brewing Company in McAlester, Oklahoma. So I always thought Prairie Artisan Ales was out of Krebs, Oklahoma. But I don't know if they changed to the Krebs Brewing Company, but they brewed and canned this one at McAlester, Oklahoma. So I said Krebs, Oklahoma at the beginning. I don't know, whatever. It's Prairie Artisan Ales and it's somewhere in Oklahoma, right? Anyway, let's give this a crack and pour it into my #proper glassware. I do have a Prairie glass. I also had a Tiku of theirs, but I broke it about a year ago, so that's a bummer. Anyway, let's give it a pour. Let's see what this one's going to look like. So yeah, it just looks like kind of like a kettled sour ale, honestly, like a Goza or Berliner Weiss or something. I figured I'd use this glass, A, because #proper glassware, always. Never not proper glassware. But also because it's small and I probably don't want to drink all this right now. Anyway, I realize that this is probably not one, even if I loved it, I would probably not buy it all that often, maybe a can here and there, but I can't imagine like people are, having 4-packs or cases of this in their house. Maybe, I don't know. No preconceived notions. We're going in this one, giving you an honest review. Anyway, it has this cloudy, I want to say cloudy yellow, almost like lemon juice-esque kind of look to it. About a finger of a creamy, slightly soap sudsy looking, bright white head. Yeah, it looks like a kettle sour, just like a plain kettle sour. Now, I didn't smell it when I cracked it open, so let's go in. Okay, so that's actually pleasant. So as it opens up more, the first thing that hit me was the citrus fruit. Like it had this nice melange of orange and lemon and lime and maybe even a little bit of grapefruit, but it definitely had citrus kind of qualities. But as it opened up, the next couple sniffs, it was definitely like a dill pickle juice. And now I'm getting the spiciness there. That's cool. So it went from citrus to dill pickles to now spiciness. And as I go back now, it kind of has like a spicy dill pickle thing. Smells like it's going to be more tart than sour. A little bit, and I know a lot of people, when they have kettle sours, they get like an off note that there's a lot of reasons, there's one main reason that a lot of people don't like kettle sours. They usually get something that has like a rubber-esque type of off note or something that just doesn't mesh well with what they're looking for, and I get that, and I'm getting that a little bit here. It doesn't really bother me, but I'm just letting you know that if you're somebody who likes pickles but you don't really like kettle sours, I'd imagine you wouldn't pick this up. Or you shouldn't, but just based on what I'm smelling. We'll see how the taste is. It kind of smells like I opened a jar of spicy dill pickles and I'm smelling it. Maybe someone sprinkled in some lemon juice, maybe orange juice, so a little bit of citrus notes, but that's what it smells like. It's not this. The nose, though, isn't intense. It's very mild, somewhat subdued and muted. But yeah, it's definitely noticeable. But yeah, it smells inoffensive to me outside of that like slight rubbery thing. But yeah, let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. I'm hoping that it's good. It's solid. It's really solid. There's a little bit, and the first thing, so I took a sip, there's a slight, very, very slight like burn right at the back of the throat as soon as it hit my, as soon as I swallowed it, I a little bit of burn, but not that big or anything. I thought this was going to be a little bit more effervescent and like carbonated. It's definitely carbonated, but I thought it was just going to be like really crisp on the palate. It's slightly crisp. It's more smooth than anything. So the mouthfeel, more of like a smoothness to it, a little bit of like a crisp sensation. The body, surprisingly, It's not super like watery and thin I thought it would be. It's just like higher side of light body, lower side of medium. So there's a little bit of heft going on there, but for 5.3%, it's fine. So by mouthfeel are okay. They're better than okay. They're solid, good. The taste, again, this, I think they did this on purpose, and I'm glad they did, but this is very mild in the pickle character. Holy shit, does that sound stupid? I just said that about beer. Very mild in the pickle character, but it really is. The first thing that I noticed at the tip of my tongue is kind of like when I smelled it at first. It has those 3 citrus fruits, and I'd say lemon and lime is kind of leading the way. There's like a lemon lime type of thing going on, a little bit of tartness, a little bit of sweetness, almost like a lemonade thing, and then right after that, like an orange juice. It's not super sweet or anything, but it's a little bit sweeter, tip of the tongue, zesty and sweet. As it passes through, that's where the pickle kind of character sneaks in. And this is nothing like drinking like pickle juice. It's not that intense. It's like if you have ever taken a sip of pickle juice or ever had something marinated in it, it has the intensity of maybe 20 to 25% of like taking a sip of a pickle juice. Like it's that mild, but it's there and you can tell. A lot of times you get pickle beers, and I'm trying to think, have I had a pickle beer before? I may have had a pickle beer at like a festival or something, but I feel like a lot of times they probably come off more as like cucumber-esque, because that's what pickles are, cucumber and the pickle brine. But this one actually smells and tastes like a pickle, which is cool. Right after the pickle hits midway through, that's where the heat, and I say heat very, I'm hesitant to say it, okay? Because there's really not much heat here. It's a very slight kind of burn on the back of the palate through the throat, very minute. Like this is, if you're somebody who can't handle heat and you want to try this beer, don't let that deter you from trying it, because the heat on this is not substantial. Maybe somebody who's very sensitive to heat might think this is a little bit too much, but it's fine. If anything, I feel it more a little bit in the chest and the stomach than I do on the palate and in the throat. This one finishes with a nice acidic, tart kind of spiciness. Like I said, there's not a lot of sweetness in this one. Again, it's a novelty beer, but it's a very drinkable novelty beer, if that makes any sense. This isn't a beer that a lot of times, and I'll even review them on my channel, I'll drink something with crazy adjuncts in it or just crazy ingredients in general. And then what ends up happening is I'm drinking that beer and I realize about 3 or 4 ounces into it that I'm like, I probably don't want to finish that. I would have loved to share that with 2 or 3 other people. It's a novelty beer. I can only handle 3 or 4 ounces, so on and so forth. I'm going to be able to drink the rest of this and I'm not going to struggle with it because it's not overwhelming. It's very mild and light in flavor. And I think that's actually a good thing, because if it was so intense with that pickle character and it was super spicy and just over the top, this would be something that should be shared. But I can easily drink the rest of this can. I think, again, they made a very drinkable, spicy dill pickle sour beer. The only complaint I would really have is there's more of like a nice tartness here as opposed to an actual sourness. And I would like to see that tartness ramped up and getting into the sour range, because it's not really there for me. So that'd be the one knock I really have on this beer, is that there's just a slight tart quality. I will say there is a nice, and I got it after the last sip, and I kind of let it sit on my palate. There is a nice salinity on the palate. This is not brewed with salt of any kind, I don't believe. This is not a goza, but if they're brewing it with spicy dill pickles, the brine has quite a bit of sodium and salt in general, so I'd imagine that's transferring into the beer itself. So it has goza-esque kind of qualities to it. It's really solid. I'm not going to give this a crazy high score. I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is a fucking awesome beer, because it's not. But for something I picked up because I wanted to try it out, it's a novelty beer. It seems interesting. I wanted to see, could they pull it off? And I think they did. I might buy this again down the road. Maybe if I'm in the mood to try, I shouldn't say try, but do some different variations. Do a non-spicy version of it. Maybe do some sour dill pickles in there. Do some, whatever, sweet. Who knows? Like, you could just mix it up, right? But I might pick this up again down the road. Maybe a couple months from now. Maybe next year if they release it again. Who knows? But this is not going to be one that's in my fridge or anything. I'm not going to pick up a 4-pack of this. But I think for what they were going for, I think they did a really good job. I'd probably give this like a 4.25, maybe a low 4.5 as far as what they're going for. But personal preference, I'm not going to go crazy high, but I have to admit that it's pretty fucking good for what it is. So Spicy Pickle Monster from Prairie, I'm going to give this a high 3.75 out of 5. I'm going to go 3.85. Almost gets in the low 4 range for me. I think if there was a little bit more of a firm tartness into sour, this would definitely get around a 4. As is, I think 385 is fair, and yeah, it's a fun beer. So price and availability, price point on this one in my neck of the woods, I paid just under $4 for that can, and I believe 4 packs. These come in 4 packs, even though they're 12-ounce cans. 15, like $14.99 a 4-pack. That's fine for something like this to try. I mean, you're talking about spicy dill pickles, 3 different citrus fruits. It's a sour. It's 5.3. Like I think paid like $3.75 for that can, or like $3.79 or something. That's fine. Availability, I don't know. If you see Prairie and you get some of their seasonal releases or some of their rotating releases, then you probably should see this one. I don't know where Prairie gets distro now. I know they get them in distro all over the place, but I don't know what that exactly entails. So if you see Prairie, you probably should see this one at some point. And I would say if you like dill pickles and you like specifically spicy dill pickles, and this, if you've been curious about this one, you maybe saw it in your local beer store and you didn't pick it up because you're like, give it a go. Why not? Especially if you can get a single. I will advocate grabbing this one if you can get a single. I would not recommend buying an entire 4-pack of this, just because spending $14, $15, $16 on something like this, where there's an off chance, even if you like pickles, that this wouldn't be for you. Yeah, I wouldn't spend that money. But if you can get a can for under like $4, yeah, give it a go. Anyway, if anybody has had this one, post in the comment section what you thought about this one. I believe this is the second year they released this. I think they released this back in 2021. I think this is like a spring, summer seasonal. So I'm pretty sure anyway. Yeah, not much more to say about it. 5.3%, like I said, can't even tell. So yeah, interesting beer, but I enjoyed it for what it is. I'm going to drink the rest of this and not hate my life. So anyway, appreciate everybody's time by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.